And welcome back to Bible in a Year. Our Old Testament reading today is from Numbers 2 and 3. It's day 74, and I know some of you like my different locations, and some of you might be able to work this out, but today I'm actually in my loo. The loo seat is down, but that is where I am. I'm in my loo. I'm running out of locations. For our readings from Numbers today, just a couple of things to reflect on. I've got 3 P's for you. Not the first, won't be the last, but 3 P's to reflect on today. First, the P is principle. And in Numbers today, we've got a couple of great principles for living our life by. Because one of them is as they're arranging all the tribes and setting them up in their formations, you probably noticed it, but God, his presence was placed right in the centre. And as we organise our lives, a great principle is to make sure that God is at the centre of absolutely everything that we do. And not only that, but the amount of times at this part of Numbers, and it doesn't carry on like this, but at this point in Numbers, the amount of times that it talks about they or Moses doing exactly what God commanded. And so, first of all, principle, God at the centre, obedience to God, great principle. Second P is a moment of praise. If you're following the New Testament reading, then 4 days ago, I think we looked at the end of Mark at the moment when Jesus died, and it talked about the temple curtain being torn in two. In our reading today, we've got reference to the sanctuary and the curtains, in fact, also, but it talks about particularly with the sanctuary that anyone who approaches without permission or without that right role must be put to death. And if you look at sort of a setup of how all that tabernacle was arranged, you've got the curtain that separated off that sanctuary area where the Holy of Holies was and the altar and all of that sort of thing. And so a moment of praise, again, to thank Jesus for the fact that when he died, that temple curtain was torn in two. Access into his presence, his living presence, is now, we're invited into that, and that penalty of death has been removed. Jesus paid for it when he himself died. So we've got the principles to live our life by. We've got a moment of praise. And then the final little thing to note on is about privilege. The priests, there's another P, they were given lots of power and privilege. They were the ones that had these specific roles around the tabernacle and all of those, all of the important jobs and duties around that. And there was lots of things that they could do that other people weren't allowed to do. For example, some of them to approach the sanctuary. And yet we also see there's a massive responsibility on them as well. And we see that early on in our reading today, that when these 2 guys, let me find the name, Nadab and Abihu, when they did something that wasn't authorised, they paid for it with their lives. And so I think it's from Spider-Man. Is it the auntie that says with great power comes great responsibility? And God has empowered us by his Holy Spirit, but there is also a great responsibility on us that we are empowered to do. And so there's lots of things that are part of our responsibility as being God's people. All the P's are coming out today. And so it's just reflecting on some of the things that we know are part of our privileged responsibility as being God's people, and just asking God again for his power to do all that we need to do to fulfill those things and to follow him obediently. Lots of P's. Have a great day. I hope you have a day of peace and power, and I'll see you soon. Bye.